often thought, can you imagine receiving a letter from none other than the former cable TV actress Meghan Markle? That's right, sometimes known as the Duchess of Sussex. She does like to put pen to paper. We saw that, didn't we, all those years ago then, when she decided to write on those bananas, which always made me laugh. You know, I'm sure the sentiment was kind of meant well, but you think, what are you doing? You know, really, this is a lunchbox to people who are truly struggling. They don't care about some stupid message, you know. And you could see, as I said to you before, Prince Harry must have just been dying inside thinking, oh no, you know, there's a crackpot loose, but I can't do anything about it, you know what I mean? But now, according to a very well-placed source, Meghan Markle recently sent yet another missive over to His Majesty the King. And I can tell you what it's about. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good to see you today, and as ever, thank you so much for your time. Well, have a lovely wave. Are you all right? By the way, I'm glad you enjoyed the story about Greggs and Nigella and stuff. You know, it's, to me, I don't care what these people do, but you just kind of know you're doing it for money. I mean, do we truly believe that Nigella Lawson's going in for a £1.50 sausage roll to Greggs? I mean, you know, and this is the thing where I just find it odd. We have a bread company over here called Warburton's Bread, very expensive now. And honestly, the slices of bread are so thin, you could pin them down with a skewer. I mean, it's, you know, you could see your face through it. This is because the man, the boss, Jonathan Warburton, likes to hire Hollywood stars to promote the bread. Quite what Robert De Niro in the hearty place of Halifax has got to do with Warburton's Bread, well, no, nothing, but he likes them, so that's where your money goes. That's why the bread goes up. You've got to pay all of that money back. It's a little bit like Nigella. Trust me, the prices of Greggs will soon be going up. And they'll say, well, why is that? Look at the ad. Look at the 6 figures she's picking up. Back as ever to your royal story. This became something of a bone of contention, didn't it, when you think about it? There was Meghan Markle dangling the children that she doesn't allow His Majesty the King to see, which I think is deplorable, whichever way you look at it. Forget her own father. But of course, Harry should really intervene, particularly now in this terrible situation with His Majesty the King battling cancer, as I know many people are around the world. And I've said this to all of you before. God bless you all. Keep strong. Keep smiling. It's the only way through, you know. If you can have a giggle a day, does help, you know. Never mind the doctor telling you to be quick. Have a good laugh. It always helps. You know what I mean? Even if it's just laughing at yourself in the mirror. I often do, as you can imagine. But yes, as we know, then she couldn't be bothered to turn up for His Majesty the King's coronation. She was too busy making a cake for her son. I mean, really beyond rude, you know, when you think. But of course then, when she wants something, suddenly galvanises herself into action. And according to a well-placed source, Meghan, you see, recently wrote one final time to His Majesty the King for this. As you know, they've recently decided to put the idea around about buying a bolt hall in Europe, particularly Portugal. But apparently, according to that source, Meghan was desperately unhappy with the way her husband felt about the way that they were removed from Frogmore Cottage, the cottage that Oprah Winfrey couldn't believe that they were living in, you know, that sort of thing. You see, Meghan's decided she wouldn't mind the security level, you know, around that. And more importantly, it gives her a little bit of prestige, doesn't it, being able to go in and out of the court of Windsor. She decided, of course, that if she dangled the opportunity that she may bring the children back over to Windsor, if the security was right and if they could reclaim the cottage and pay whatever rent he was suggesting, then that would be an option she'd be keen to, you know, discuss. Now, as you can imagine, and I've told you this before, His Majesty the King doesn't have mobile, doesn't necessarily deal with that sort of correspondence. And I honestly can tell you, I know this 100% for a fact, the letter did happen. I am unsure at this point as to whether there was any response. I would possibly say 100% that there was no response. Why would he bother? We know what his plans are, and these are the things he wants to do. Hence the reason Meghan and Harry allegedly are dangling this, oh, we'll come to Europe then, we'll go and hang out in Portugal. And, you know, you may want to come over and see your grandchildren that way. Which either way you look at it, very spiteful, insecure, and quite rightly, quite nasty, in fact, given the situation with King Charles in his health right now. And, you know, you come away thinking, well, you were very, very disrespectful. And suddenly now you've decided you might want to come back and you might want to do that. But of course, King Charles is supposed to drop everything because Meghan has put pen to paper. I'd love to know what you think to this developing story. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.